In 2015, this man, Joshua Boyle, wrote a letter to his parents in Canada, telling them his wife Caitlin had just given birth to a son. He wrote that he had delivered the baby himself, in the dark, holding a flashlight in his mouth. This was the second time that Caitlin had given birth while the couple was being held captive by the Taliban in the remote mountains of Afghanistan near the Pakistani border.
In late August of 2016, the families released a really startling video. Videos have come out at different points showing this couple. What was unique in this video is for the first time, Caitlin Coleman explicitly said there have been threats to her entire family, and by implication, to her children.
Willing to kill us, willing to kill women, to kill children.
So why would the Taliban keep this family alive for so long? It doesn't fit with what we're used to seeing on the news, these barbaric images of Western hostages killed in the name of an ideology.
We often conflate Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, and we think that they're all kind of the same, and they're not.
The Taliban thinks they can get something out of keeping this family alive. It's a mindset that sets them apart from other militant groups, and it's key to understanding how they operate. Coleman, Boyle, and their children are being held by a Taliban affiliate group known as the Haqqani network. The Haqqanis got their start in the 1980s. Like the Taliban, they were part of the rebel group known as the Mujahideen, who fought against the Soviet Union after it invaded Afghanistan in 1979. The Mujahideen was armed and financed by the CIA.
You know, that land over there is yours. You'll go back to it one day because your fight will prevail and you'll have your homes and your mosques back again because your cause is right and God is on your side.
The Mujahideen drove out the Soviets in 1989. Then came years of civil war, with the Haqqanis and other groups fighting to gain power. The Haqqanis allied themselves with the Taliban when that group took control of the capital Kabul in 1996.
The Taliban, in the years before 9/11, were a government. They had ministries, they had courts, they had an army. That all disappeared after 9/11 when we invaded, bombed, and basically broke the government the Taliban had set up in Afghanistan. The Taliban wants to have that government back. They see themselves as the rightful government of Afghanistan. They want to run Afghanistan again.
Since the US-led invasion, the Taliban and the Haqqanis have worked together, orchestrating kidnappings and bombings, all with the goal of retaking the country. In 2013, the Haqqanis negotiated an exchange with the US for an American service member named Bowe Bergdahl, whom they captured 4 years earlier.
Private First Class Bowe Bergdahl was captured after leaving his base in Afghanistan for reasons that are still unclear.
The US government considered Bergdahl a prisoner of war rather than a hostage, and secured his freedom by exchanging 5 Taliban prisoners who were held at the US base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And with this latest video, we get a glimpse of what the Taliban and the Haqqanis are hoping to get out of holding Coleman and her family.
We are told that the Afghan government has executed from among the prisoners they have taken of these men, and that recently they hanged them. And our captors are terrified at the thought of their own mortality approaching and are saying that they will take reprisals on our family.
He's referencing 6 Taliban prisoners who the Afghan government put to death in May for their roles in a suicide bombing. And when he talks about his captors being fearful for their own mortality, he's likely talking about Anas Haqqani, the son of the group's founder. An Afghan judge sentenced him to death for helping raise money for the Haqqani network, and it seems pretty clear what the Haqqanis and the Taliban want: to trade Coleman, Boyle, and their family for Anas Haqqani. But in order for that to happen, the US would have to do something it says it doesn't do: negotiate with terrorists. Because although the Afghan Taliban is not on the US government's list of terrorist organizations, the Haqqani network is.
The United States says again and again and again, we do not negotiate with terrorists.
There will be no negotiation with terrorists of any kind.
No nation can negotiate with terrorists.
We didn't negotiate with terrorists.
And that's just empirically false. The United States talks to terror groups all the time. Groups like the Taliban are seen as very rational groups. Groups like Al-Qaeda, and especially the Islamic State, are seen very, very differently.
For ISIS, taking hostages is about fear and propaganda.
If they captured an American, they wouldn't necessarily want to trade them. More likely they'd want to kill them. And unfortunately, they'd want to kill them in as brutal a fashion as possible.
But the Taliban and the Haqqanis have very different goals from al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. The Taliban and the Haqqanis want to control Afghanistan. Unlike ISIS and al-Qaeda, they have no interest in a worldwide Islamic caliphate, no interest in attacking other countries, and no interest in inspiring lone wolf attacks halfway across the globe. Instead, they're looking to make a deal.